Scott Talley here from Network in Action, and I love doing these interviews with our members. Today, I was really looking forward to this. I've gotten to know Candice and her company, The Awakening, over the last few months, and it's really a credible topic and something so germane and so important. But I want to warn you right now, when Candice finishes, you're going to think, wow, this sounds too good to be true. So I want to tell you, don't let her passion and her knowledge of this make you think like this couldn't be happening, because this is the real meal deal. So Candice, good to see you.
Thank you for having me, Scott. So I thought that water was just water for my entire life, growing up as a competitive swimmer. I focused on nutrition, I focused on, diet and exercise, but I didn't realize that the most important thing I needed to focus on was water. So 70% of our body is made of water, and really we're just focusing on the 30%, which is diet and exercise. And in America, we are suffering from 75% dehydration. So we're taking prescription medications for things that we don't know, but we're not getting to the root of the cause, which could be dehydration. So I help people get medical grade water ionizers out of Japan into their homes and businesses. And I am so passionate about this because this water has helped people heal naturally from over 150 health ailments around the world. And it sounds crazy, but our bodies are a self-healing tool or a self-healing machine that, when given the proper tools, can heal themselves, right? And so I do believe that Western medicine is so important in the case of an emergency. And what if through proper hydration, we can achieve the unimaginable? And there are people in the world that are living the happiest, healthiest, and longest lives in places called the blue zones. And these are the longevity hotspots of the world. And this water machine that I have is reverse engineered from nature. And so the Russian and the German scientists have studied people in the blue zones. You can look it up. These are places like Lourdes, France, Noduro, Germany, Lakota, Mexico, the Hunza Valley in Pakistan. These people are living anywhere between 100 to 130 years per person. And that sounds crazy. That sounds like extraterrestrial, right? But it's happening right here on this planet. And these scientists have studied these people, and they have found of course, their diet and their lifestyle, but mostly the water that they have access to, that they're drinking and that they're bathing in every single day. So of course, the Japanese took this technology and perfected it. And one of the blue zones is in Okinawa, Japan, and that's where this technology originates. So my company is my brand is called The Awakening. And the company that we partner with is called Enagic. They are a $1 billion debt-free, privately owned company out of Japan, over 50 years in business. And their mission is to help people heal through hydration, and not just heal their bodies, but heal their minds and their finances. So they have an incredible referral program where I can help you make anywhere between $340 to $2,040 per unit. And so my why is to help others heal holistically, and also to help the planet. So we can eliminate single-use plastics in this planet, becoming eco-conscious. It is possible. And also helping people with their minds, their finances, and their spirituality. It sounds crazy, but when you change your water, it really changes your mindset. And so like Scott was saying, it sounds too good to be true. It sounds crazy, but the water within our bodies, the water that we consume, can truly change our consciousness. And
let's talk about, I want to talk a little bit about the options. So we all know, we all read, we're supposed to drink more water. We're supposed to drink more water. So the other night, after I had an experience of having breakfast with you and I got to try the water repeatedly, she did a taste test with me, and I was drinking the water that the restaurant served, and I literally could taste a metal taste in the water that I'm sure the restaurant has some type of purification. But I came home and I was drinking a glass of water from my little Brita filter, little pitcher thing, and the water looked great. And an hour and a half later, I went back for another glass and I put some ice in it, and the ice didn't have the filter. And when I looked at the bottom of the glass, I was like, ugh, I could literally see things floating in there, like, oh my gosh. So let's talk for a minute about what people are doing. One more thing. On that trip we recently went on, I was stunned at the waste that my family, just me and my 3 kids and my wife, the plastic. So today's options are drinking out of a tap with the city water. I mean, who wants to take that risk? But bottled water, it's not so great, is it? Talk about that a minute.
Yeah, so the bottled water industry is not regulated. And if you're familiar with DuPont, it's a chemical company that was recently in the news in the early 2000s for a bunch of lawsuits and issues with Teflon, the forever the non-stick on your pans and stuff.
Yeah.
And Teflon has a chemical in it called the forever chemical. It's PFOAs and PFOS. Well, back in the 1970s, DuPont patented polyphenylene to make plastic bottled water. Or, excuse me, to make the plastic to put water in it. And that's when the bottled water industry exploded. And there has been no regulation on bottled water, the plastic that it comes in, the temperatures that the water is controlled, and there are no temperature controls. So the water they're getting, let's say Fiji, comes from these amazing waters, so we think, and then it travels across the world on these shipping containers that are getting beaten down by the sun. The chemicals in the plastic are seeping into the water, not only causing microplastics, but causing chemicals in that water that we're ultimately going to be drinking. And then they sit in warehouses that are not temperature controlled. And by the time you get your water and put it in your fridge, it's been in that bottle for anywhere between 6 months to a year and a half. So it's really bad to be drinking bottled water for ourselves. There are so many chemicals in it, and we're actually consuming about 5 grams of microplastics every week in America by drinking bottled water.
Besides the waste, I mean,
Oh,
not
yeah.
only putting something in your body that's so good for you, but then all of a sudden you're surely not adding to any kind of ecosystem that's worthwhile having. There's another thing here, I want to say Candice and I are not medical doctors. We just have strong opinions after lots of research and lots of reading. So we know, that America is the greatest country in the world, even with all of our faults and all the hair on us and all those things. We know it's the greatest country in the world, but we don't have the longest lifespan. So where is this disconnect, And so you start researching, like, why do so many people have cancer today? Why do so many people have diseases today that our parents and grandparents didn't experience? And you can't help but think that when you research this, disease grows in an acidic environment, right? So talk a little bit about what this process does to the acidity in the water that you're drinking.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That is so important. And I could get really deep here. I'm very passionate about this. And so our bodies, so Dr. Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize for discovering the root cause of cancer in the 1930s, actually 1931. That was a long time ago. And he says that cancer thrives in an acidic environment. And he also says cancer can't survive in an alkaline environment, right? And so in America, I mean, if you can imagine, back in school, we have the pH scale. Right down the middle is neutral 7.0. And then anything to the left is acidic. Anything to the right is alkaline. So acidity breeds sickness and alkalinity creates health. And in America, we are eating all of this meat. We are drinking alcohol, which is acidic. We are eating processed foods, which are acidic as well. We're under so much stress, causing cortisol in our body, which is an acidic chemical that we naturally produce. That creates free radicals in our body. And what free radicals do is oxidate our cells. And our cells are protected by a natural antioxidant layer. And so all these free radicals that we're pumping our bodies with are breaking down the cell wall. And when our cells begin to be broken down, they start to replicate irregularly. And when more and more cells replicate irregularly, that's all they want to do. They want to replicate. And what happens when they replicate irregularly, say that 10 times fast, they are going to ultimately break down our immune system. They're ultimately potentially going to form tumors. And that's what happens. But we have to arm our bodies with antioxidants. We know that antioxidants are it's like we don't want to drink it, but cod liver oil and green tea and vitamin C and pomegranates and things like that, right? Well, this water that I drink and this water that I share with people has so much antioxidants in it. The most potent antioxidant in the world is molecular hydrogen. It's the smallest and most potent. So when you drink an 8-ounce glass of this water, it's like eating 5 pounds of blueberries or drinking 20 glasses of green tea and antioxidants. So when we arm our bodies with antioxidants, it's giving our body the things that we need and allowing it to return to a state of homeostasis, a state of self-healing. So when we are exposed to all of this acidity, it is causing many health ailments that we don't understand, that we think are hereditary, that we think that there isn't a cure. And we go to doctors, and I'm not a medical professional, no medical claims at all, but we go to doctors and we're getting all of these medications that are just putting a Band-Aid on the problem and not fixing it. So I could talk about water, but I could also talk about the pesticides that are in our water that are causing harm to our bodies as well, but we could save that for another conversation.
So let's talk about the practicality of it. What happens is it's a machine slightly larger than a Keurig coffee pot, as I understand, right?
Yes.
And they would purchase the machine from you. So go through those steps and what that looks like.
Absolutely. So this machine can't be bought online. You can find it online, but you have to buy it directly through a distributor that represents this company, which is Enagic. And so you purchase the machine through a link. The machine comes to your home. We have it installed, and it's completely portable. So you can install it to 99% of faucets around the world. If you are traveling for work, you can install it to your Airbnb, to your hotel. We also have shower units that are completely portable as well. So you don't have to be showering in chlorinated and chemical-filled tap water. So it's a super easy process. So tell me, what was your question?
No, that's what I wanted people to understand, is that this is not like installing something in your garage that takes days or weeks, and it's a fairly simple process. So if you're intrigued at all, which I hope you are, I hope you'll reach out to Candice to sit down. One of the things, she's a girl. Sometimes she has water will travel. I'll say she'll come in with her jug of water and share it with you. So Candice, how do they reach you, and what's the best way for them to contact you?
So you can text me at 713-817-5999 if you want to reach me really quickly. If you'd like to email me, you can email me at CandicePink@protonmail.com. That's CandicePink @protonmail, PROTON mail.com. And then I'm also on social media. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn, and on Instagram, it's Candice_Pink, where you can follow my story, my life. I mix my lifestyle and my business together so we can get to know each other really well.
Awesome. I always say network in action. We have great people doing great things, and this is a great story. And I hope people will take an opportunity to reach out and get in touch with you and see if it's something good for their family. I know it is, and you know it is. We have to convince them. So thanks for your time today. It's awesome.
Thank you so much, Scott. It's been an honor being here.
Thank you.